Good morning from New York. Discussing today the presidential debate. Shifty eyes and lies, the lack of intelligent empathy from the unhealthy, morally weak, criminal mind of Trump. First of all, it's very hard to debate somebody who's not debating in good faith. We didn't see two candidates who were just having a different opinion and trying to support their opinion with facts and supporting evidence. You didn't see that. You had one candidate, Trump, who doesn't respect you. He has no empathy for you. If he did, he wouldn't lie, would he? If he had real evidence to present, that's what he would have done. Instead, he lied. He lied about his loss, which he was, big whiner. He lied about the election where he lost. These undecided voters, really? You're undecided between a convicted felon whose own vice president doesn't want to see him president again, who all of the people that worked close to him I'd say most don't want to see him president again. People that actually know him, people who, or his friends in business who said he's not really a good businessman, but he's a good showman. What is that? That's a con man. That's a con man. And if you're not, if you're a good businessman, you're a fair trader. You're doing good with your product is good, and you're benefiting people who trade with you. That's not what happened with him. What happened to the Trump University, which was never a university? Oh my. It's outrageous. If you watch him in the debate, his eyes at times are just shifting back and forth. And who do you associate that with? Somebody who's conning you, somebody who's lying, is going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Working overtime, but you have to, your brain has to work overtime to lie, But, that's not empathetic. They know that he's lying. He knows that, the media has tried to paint this as a real horse race. Really? He should never be on that debate stage in the first place. It's hard to debate somebody who isn't debating in good faith, who isn't trying to be factual. Trump fails in that respect. We know he's morally weak. He cheated on his wife while she was pregnant. A lot of empathy there. Come on. It's all right to not be perfect. Sure. But be honest about it. Try a little repentance. Huh? He said he didn't need to repent. And he's being persecuted like Jesus. Really? Jesus wasn't guilty. So, how can people... It just blows my mind. I hear the undecided voters like, we don't like either candidate. Well, you have two choices, okay? Right? There's always going to be some dissatisfaction with especially when you only have two choices. I believe in ranked choice voting. Would give third parties a chance. But, yeah, there's always going to be, it's never going to be perfect. If they were too young, you would say, oh, they're too young and inexperienced, But, now they're too old. Well, yeah. But you've got two choices. That's ground yourself in reality. You've got two choices, okay, coming up in November. A liar and the party that has followed him in his lies. And Joe Biden, who's actually done work to help the global warming situation, which even in the debate, Trump referred to as, a fake thing. The green energy's just a fake thing. Yeah. No, it's not. It gets to a point. I I would stumble in my responses too, just I would feel a little rattled. It's somebody who's yelling lies at full force. Good Lord. And quit this false equivalent picture here. The superior candidate is definitely Joe Biden. Whatever his faults, whatever his age, he is far superior to a convicted felon who in the debate lied and whose lies fostered a rebellion against our country, against our government. There was, back in the day, we had, I think it was 12 senators during World War II who were Nazi supporters. And the same tactics that they're using here with Trump, trying to, not, lesser charges first, right? Putting off the other charges, dragging the court, making things slow. That's what they did to keep from going to jail. Trump doing the same thing. Republicans helping him do it. And if he's so not guilty, which is an unbelievable, almost unimaginable possibility, yeah, if he is not guilty, then why are they trying to argue that a president cannot be convicted of anything. And why would anybody want a leader that's above the law? We're a nation of laws, not a nation run by dictatorial powers. You say, well, it's not I've heard them say, well, we're not a democracy. Well, if you want more choices, vote in the primaries. Well, these people either never voted, or when they voted, they only voted in the general election. They didn't vote for the nonpartisan elections. They didn't vote in those. They didn't vote for the city officials and so on. And they say, well, we're not a democracy. You think it would help us be a democracy if people would just vote? Yeah, and ranked choice voting would be a great addition, and making it easier to vote. Okay, which party is really for you? Which party is for democracy? The ones who want to make it more difficult to vote, based on lies and falsehoods about corruption in our voting, or the people who want to make it easy for you to vote? Easy. The ones that are for you, that are empathetic for you, are the people who want to make it easy for you to vote, not hard. So, what more can be said? Again, the undecided voters. Wow. How could you be undecided with these two choices, these two clear choices? You know, you go to the, oh, bread is more expensive, that's a more complicated question. I mean, and it's not, but one thing about it is that a lot of the prices are going up because the rich are raising their prices on their products because they can. Yeah, because there's not enough competition. Yeah. Small businesses, bless their hearts, they have a hard time. But it's Democrats who are really wanting small businesses to succeed. The super wealthy, they want monopolies. And they have essentially legal monopolies. They're legal. Well, they're still monopolistic. Yeah. You don't have enough competition going on. The claim that Trump, because he said so, he's a liar. Come on, let's go back to the facts. He's a liar. He said he has told people, like many of the Republicans, that he's not going to cut Social Security and so on and so forth. But their actions speak louder than their words. The Republicans have been constantly trying to do that, and but they do it in tricky kinds of ways, so they said Joe Biden was uttering a falsehood that Trump was aiming to do that. Well, because he said he wasn't? Really? He's a liar. Liar. about the election, about all of the crimes that he's been convicted of. He's a convicted felon, okay? And he's, wow, should a president be above the law? We're looking at that. The Republicans want that to be, right now, they want that to be the way it is. That he's just above the law. Yeah. If you want a democracy, in a democracy, the people elect people to office who tax the rich fairly. And it doesn't trickle down. Have you ever had it trickle down? The facts, again, are on Joe Biden's side. There's a big split, a growing split, between the super wealthy and the poor, and the middle class, falling behind. The graph's going like, well, you get what I was trying to illustrate in this lighting. I'm working on it. Anyway, wow. If this channel is about empathy and awareness in all aspects of life, including politics. There's nothing empathetic or truly aware coming out of Trump. What is he aware of? He sees only what he wants to see. He's not aware of the needs, the true needs of the people. Back to inflation. Yeah, a lot of inflation is because people are raising prices because they can and get away with it. And they will, as long as they can get away with it and hang on to monopolies, legal or illegal. They should be illegal. And yeah, bad situation. I think that we need to do things to make sure that everybody is able to vote. We need to support Social Security, and it is, they try to say it's not going to be a solvent. What are you going to do, President Biden, to make sure that Social Security is solvent? Yeah, tax the rich. People with houses all over the world, finding every tax dodge they can find. Not really wanting to have any of the supportive programs that the Democrats want for you. Well, the facts will speak louder, I hope, in this election as time goes on. And the facts hopefully will come to the surface. But don't, the way you want someone to believe a whopper. I've seen this online, where they say, well, if this were true, which is already an unbelievable position, it's like totally no evidence for it, but once you accept a lie, you can build on the lie to some real whoppers, like the election was stolen. You just build lie on top of lie. Once you normalize the idea that a president should be above the law, once you normalize the idea that a convicted felon should be running for president and getting support, once you normalize that, then sky's the limit. Don't let yourself be lulled into normalizing those things. Those are not normal. It is not normal for a president to vow vindictive action against the people that opposed him. Really. Especially the people who served as jurors in a court, or the justices who made the decision that he was guilty. Yeah. He's vowed to his revenge. He was guilty. Not a single person in all of the charges against him that he was found guilty for. Not a single person out of a jury picked by his own lawyers and by the prosecution's lawyers. Not even one person. Check me if I'm wrong. But not even one person said he's guiltless of any of, was it 34 charges? Not a single person. He's guilty. Don't. Once you swallow a lie, you're open to a whopper. I was constantly online. I'm seeing these conspiracy theory nonsense things, and they'll start off with things that have absolutely no evidence or reason for you to believe in them, and say, and if that were true, then you're building on a falsehood. You build on a falsehood. And you come up with a extreme delusion. And if you build on a lie, you add corruption. You don't add respect for the law. The law has to be based on facts, not falsehoods. So if you want a country that's, and he's said that all through the debate, Trump was saying that this country's so pitiful. Oh, it's just terrible, and I'm going to make it better. The convicted felon is going to make the country better. You swallow that, you'll swallow anything. Stop swallowing. Think. Stop normalizing things that are not normal coming out of this man's mouth. Stop, thinking that just because he says something, you can count on it. Yeah. He's going to cut the fluff out of Social Security. He's not going to change benefits or anything. Where is he going to find this flaw? Something that just isn't necessary, really, you know. It's like these insurance companies. They just, this medicine's covered, that one's not. You go to the hospital and we accept your insurance. Then somebody comes in and helps you in the hospital, but I don't. Yeah, these kind of games. This is unbelievable. So don't be fooled. Don't swallow a lie and allow more lies to be built on top. Don't swallow a delusion so that you can get totally lost in complete falsehoods. Don't do that. Don't normalize and don't create false equivalence. There's nothing equivalent between Trump and Biden. Biden is far superior. Period. The reason for your bread costing more is, Putin attacking Ukraine. That's, they produced a lot of wheat, as I understand it. He's, Trump says, he'd be so scared of me. He wouldn't do that. It didn't happen under my watch. Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. Now he says we're a laughing stock because of Joe Biden. They're laughing at us. He was laughed to scorn in England, Trump was. That he was this big narcissistic baby. There was a big float, a big balloon in the air with Trump in diapers. And, yeah. And, and he says if the NATO doesn't pay up, he'll let them be attacked and destroyed. Really, we can't afford to do that. When we allowed Hitler to do that, he was weak in the beginning, and we allowed him to take over this little portion here and that little portion there. It's the same thing Putin's doing. You allow that, and then we're drawing a line. If you go after Poland, and he did. He did. He thought he'd get away with it one more time. You think Putin is going to stop with the Ukraine? It's because it used to be part of the old Soviet Union. Yeah. Yeah, right. Stop the nonsense. Look at the facts. You only have two choices. Yeah, and they're both old. The primaries were there for you to pick younger people. In both parties, they had primaries. You picked. Okay? Or you didn't vote, and now you're complaining that you have two elderly guys as nominees of their party. You had primaries. Why didn't you pick somebody younger then? They were there. So quit your whining. You have two choices now. partly because you didn't vote probably in the primaries. And partly because there isn't ranked choice voting. So you really only have these two choices, and that's it. You stop whining about the fact that they're both old. You had plenty of opportunity to make it not so, and you didn't. Next time, vote in the primaries. If age is such a factor for you, vote in the primaries. You just, oh, we don't know. We don't know which way to go. Yeah, with the media trying to make this look like a real horse race, which, drives the ratings up. It's not a horse race. You've got one horse that is winning on every front, and his record is so much better than the other horse. And the other horse, Trump, loses races and says he won. Imagine you go to a horse race and you're told that the people that their horse lost said, no, our horse actually won. You cheated. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not into gambling, but to lose your money that way. Yeah. So, watch his eyes in that debate. Watch Trump's eyes. Watch his face. And you only have two choices. Stop whining that they're old. And they're both old. There's nothing more obvious. I mean, there are different symptoms, that each one has. But, I am old myself, So, they're both old. Quit whining about it. You've got a choice now between two elderly men. One who is a notable liar and a convicted felon who wants the office of the presidency to be occupied by a human being above the law. And this is the whole Republican Party en masse, except for a few exceptions who are supporting Trump still. Yeah. So, don't take any wooden nickels, folks, and don't vote Republican this time. So, I've made this presentation. I hope I was clear enough. And, yeah. And comments based on lies will be deleted. Honest disagreements will remain. So, that kind of wraps it up. You have two choices. Joe Biden is the best choice. The Democratic Party is the best choice. If you want more opportunities to vote, more choices, vote in the primaries. If you want younger people in government, vote in the primaries. If you want more women in government, vote for more women in the primaries. Done. Yeah. And I mean, that punishing attitude, look for that. A punishing attitude. The great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, with an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, pretty soon we're all blind and toothless. Good comment. And so look for that punishing attitude. Trump says he wants to be a dictator and take out his revenge on people. Punishing attitude. And that's nothing like Jesus. Jesus did not have a punishing attitude. He had a loving one. In comparing Trump and Biden to Jesus, well, Biden's a lot more like Jesus than Trump. A lot more. I'm going to say it. A lot more. It's a fact. Anyway, so thanks for listening. Please subscribe to the channel. There are many views that will be on this channel, but from people who believe that we need to have greater empathy and awareness. To this issue of a punishing attitude, I do not want to punish anyone. I want to see them either healed, and if they're a problem for society, I want to see them put into a secure location where they can't harm people, and you don't let them out until they're healthy, and you actually give them a path back to being a valuable citizen of the country. That's the only Christ-like way to approach things. If you're a Christian, you should be behind that. Not like the lady in the movie about, I believe it was the French Revolution, where she's screaming, "Guillotine! Guillotine!" That's not following Jesus, okay? Call it whatever it is. It's not following Jesus. It's not following the Buddha. It's not following Krishna. I don't think it's following Muhammad either. So I really don't care what your religion is or your lack of one. I don't care. But stop trying to say that Trump's like Jesus, please. If you can swallow that whopper, sky's the limit. So, I think that Trump should be I wouldn't put him in prison. I'd put him in a mental asylum. He needs to be in a mental asylum. He's morally sick, and that comes from lack of empathy, and that can be learned, and it also comes from having adverse experiences in life. When you were helpless and turned toward the symbolic rather than the real, and became very selfish because you were in pain and very self-concerned. And so, put him in a mental asylum, a secure one. Don't let him back out unless you see real progress. That's where I would put him. The January 6 people too. Anybody. We need to expand our mental asylums. I don't think prisons are the way to go. But scaring people into becoming better people not something you can really trust. How good is someone who's only good because they're scared not to be? You know, heal their mind. And we're getting better and better at that. So, yeah, keep the cords. Stop using a punishing approach. Disincentives are okay. You know, people should know they're going to get a traffic ticket if they're going too fast. But not a punishing attitude. No. Beating people over the head does not make them better people. And I feel, you know, they say empathy. I have empathy for Trump. I mean, I feel sad for him that he's so morally weak, that he's so lost in lies, that he's so self-centered, probably because there's a lot of hurt in him, you know. Take one look at his dad and you go, yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah, he probably had a pretty painful childhood, I would think. You know, he'll go, I had a beautiful childhood. You know, look out for the people who say their childhood was perfect. Yeah, it was probably horrible. They just were. What happens is when people are routinely abused, they, especially by their own parents, they try to see the abuse as normal, as okay somehow, or something they did wrong. Yeah. Yeah, and they might say, oh, what a beautiful childhood. So, yeah. This election is going to be an incredibly important one if you want to preserve this country. The other risk that people aren't talking about is if MAGA takes over the government, they're going to make such a big mess of things that the Republican Party is going to be utterly destroyed. And we might end up with a lot of almost various pockets of a civil war spread out around the country, with people fighting physically, you know, the anger, you know, because if you turn this country into a dictatorship, how are you going to get it back? Your elections won't matter anymore. Win, you win. Lose, you claim it was rigged, so you won. Just like Trump has already done, so they ask him to promise not to do it the next time. The next time? Don't let him have a next time. Enough. It's 40 minutes. Well, may the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sunshine warm upon your face. The rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand, or her hand, or its hand, however you see the source of all love. And do be tolerant from with one another, and have a sense of wonder and appreciation of every human being. We are the universe knowing itself, and that's awesome. Yeah. Be filled with awe and wonder at every intelligent life form, especially human, here on this planet. We're the most intelligent, I think. So, approach one another in that way. And it was the great Carl Sagan who said that we are the universe, knowing it so. Thank you, Carl. A wonderful statement. And a goodbye and a hello, namaste, means that. And when you say goodbye and hello with namaste, you're appreciating the wonder and the connection you have with that other person. Yeah. We are a shared wonder. Try to make a better day today. You know you can. Be sure and vote. Democracy is where empathy and awareness can have a footing and grow. If you're in a country where it's not democratic, do all you can to help it become so. Namaste.